बुद्धि और आनंद के सामंजस्य पर भी निर्भर करता है। इस तरह सर ने अपने विचार विस्तृत रूप से प्रस्तुत किए हैं। मैं अपनी बात समाप्त करता हूँ। आप सभी का धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir. I request to next participant, please introduce Ajay Dixit, sir. Roll number 55.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm present. 1 second. Sir.
Yes.
Yes. So first of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak in front of you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, respected honorable expert, respected faculty members, and our fellowship participant. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. On behalf of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar Marathon University Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, and the UGC Malia Mission Teacher Training, I extend a warm welcome to all the delegates, resource person, faculty members, and the participants attending this online course on academic leadership and this institutional excellence on Dixit Bharat 2027. So this is my privilege and honor to introduce our esteemed resource person, Professor Dr. Ajay Kamalkar Dixit. He is a distinguished academician, researcher, author, administrator, and mentor who has made recommendable contribution to higher education over the past 28 years. So Dr. Ajay Kamalkar Dixit is currently serving as a professor and the head of Department of Business Economics as Chengu Kana Thakur Arts Commerce Science College, New Panvel, Rajgarh, Maharashtra. He possesses excellent academic background, holding a Master of Arts in Economics, having qualified the UGC NEET and earning Doctor of Philosophy. His area of specialization are microeconomics and public finance, and throughout his academic journey, he has been passionate about engaged in teaching economics and business economics to undergraduate and postgraduate students. Dr. Dixit had consistently demonstrated excellence in teaching, research, innovation, and academic leadership. His research contribution are highly commendable. He has published 15 research papers in UGC Care, Scopus, and Wave of Science Extended Journal, along with 21 papers in reputed peer-reviewed journals. In addition, he has authored 37 books published by renowned national and international publishers. So his research focused on social and economic development. He was successfully completed funded research project on malnutrition among rural girls in Panvel, supported by the University of Mumbai, and on the socio-economic condition of tribal communities in Rajgarh district, funded under RUSA. These projects demonstrate his commitment to addressing real-world challenges through impactful research. So, in the field of innovation, Dr. Dixit has been granted 6 national patents and 1 international patent, while 2 additional national patent applications are under process. So, reflecting his commitment to research-driven innovation. He is an active member of prestigious professional bodies, including the Indian Economic Association, Konkan Geographers Association, and Marathi Arthashastra Parishad. He has actively participated in 72 international and national state level and university level conference, seminar, workshop, and symposia as a presenter, participant, session chair, and also resource person and convener. So within his institution, Dr. Dixit currently serves as a Deputy Controller of Examination and Chairman of Feedback Management System. So over the year, he contributed to several important committees, including the Planning Forum, Commerce Association, Examination Committee, NSS Culture Association, Timetable Committee, and Feedback Monitoring Committee. For more than 23 years, he has been actively associated with NAC and IQAC activities, making the significant contribution towards institutional quality assurance, accreditation, and academic excellence. So, recognizing his scholarly achievement, the University of Mumbai has approved him as a PhD research guide in business economics and as a postgraduate teacher for MCOM and MA programs. So, with his exceptional contribution to teaching, research, publication, innovation, academic leadership, and institution development, Professor Dr. Ajay Kamalkar Dixit continues to inspire educators, researchers, and students alike. So it is indeed our great honor and privilege to have such a academy with us today. So on the behalf of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar Marathon University, uh, uh, this is Malmia Mission Teacher Training Center and all the participants of this refresher course. I extend a heartful welcome to Dr. Ajay Kamalkar Dixit. So we look forward to an enriching and inspiring session under your expert guidance. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, your voice is
Yes,
audible.
sir.
Yes. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Uh, Thank you, madam, for my introduction to the students of this refresher course. First of all, I am grateful to Aparna Ashtaputre Sisode ma'am for giving me this opportunity uh, to excel my views regarding academic leadership and institutional excellence for Vikasit Bharat 2047. At the same time, I am grateful to the university also for giving the permission for me to give my views here. And I am also grateful to those who were involved in this process. And lastly, I am thankful to all the students uh, of this refresher course. Uh, I will start my uh, lecture with this aspect of uh, this is, I think, a refresher course, and I think there are uh, teachers from different faculties. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
From arts, commerce, science, engineering, medical, everything I think is involved in this refresher course. So I will try my level best to satisfy this diverse group because leadership qualities, institutional excellence can be studied in political science or sometimes in economics, sometimes in psychology, but all the students may not be aware of all these things. So I will try to accommodate all these people and try to explain properly so that everybody can understand and everybody can get the benefit of this lecture from me. Now, friends, as you know, academic leadership and institutional excellence, these are the two very important aspects which are related to every teacher, because today's teacher in higher education can be a dean, can be a principal, can be a vice chancellor, or he or she can have some other leadership positions also. At the same time, you are working in one institute, so you will think of the excelling that institute. It means that today's role for yourself will be restricted to yourself and to your institute, but in future you can be leader there in your same institute, or you can be leader into the other academic institutions also. So here these two aspects which we will discuss today are important at micro level for yourself, for institute, but these two aspects are very important for macro level also, because ultimately these two things will pave a way to the Vikasit Bharat 2047. I will start this aspect with the dream. As you know, friends, everybody is having a dream. Everybody is having a dream, and most of us will try to fulfill our dreams. But here we will take some of the dreams of our founding fathers. Then I will come to yourself, which dreams you have, or which dreams you were having at your childhood, and now you are trying to fulfill those dreams. But first of all, I will give you the time to think on this aspect, which dreams you were having into the past, which dreams you have fulfilled. Before that, we will look at the dreams of our founding fathers. And into that, if we come to the Mahatma Gandhi, now at the time of Mahatma Gandhi, friends, as you know, he was having a dream where in India nothing was there. So he feel that an India where the poorest feel the country belongs to them. No doubt at that time 60%, 70% people were below poverty line. Officially it was 60% people, but poorest of the poor people were uneducated poor persons were there. They must feel that this country should be belongs to them. And this dream has fulfilled in most of the aspects, because every person in India is now is having a right to vote, a right to select the government. And due to that, every poor person feels that after 5 years, no doubt, I am having a power in my hand to change the government, and I am having the power in my hand to select that government which must be working for me. Gandhi at the same time envisioned an India built on justice, equality, self-reliance, and moral values. So, justice, equality, self-reliance, some of these things, as you know, are fulfilled. No doubt, 100% dream is not fulfilled. No doubt, in moral values, we are declining instead of going up. But some aspects of his dreams have fulfilled. Then Jawaharlal Nehru, he wants a modern, scientific, democratic, and secular India. As you know, we are developed in science almost in every area. We have a democratic system now. Votings are there every 5 years. Even there are agitations from the people if the government is not properly hearing their problems. And we have a secular India also. Lots of problems are there here also, but some aspects of his dreams are fulfilled. Then we directly jump to the Atal Bihari Vajpayee, where he thinks a prosperous, strong, connected, and caring India must be there. He wants that India should be developed. It was there in 1997, means after 50 years of independence. In 1947, we got independence. In 1997, after 5 years, after 50 years, he thinks that now we must be strong, we must be prosperous, and we must work as a developed country. On this line, the then President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, wants to transform India into a developed and self-reliant nation. And for that, he wants to inspire young Indians to dream big and contribute to building a developed India. Here, he has even written books also at that time, and he wants that youth must come forward and they must transform this developing country into a developed country, because at that time our country was developing. In 1947 our country was considered as underdeveloped country. After 50 years it was developing country. And APJ Abdul Kalam have told that by 2020 we must be developed. No doubt his dream has not fulfilled yet, but he says that we must have a big dream. Whether it will be fulfilled or not, that will be a different thing. And now our current Prime Minister Narendra Modi have seen another dream of Vikasit Bharat 2047. Instead of 2020, now 2047 will be a target for us. That means 100 years after getting the independence. Now here he wants to transform India into a developed, self-reliant and globally influential nation by 2047. Now we are in the process of completing this vision or this dream of our Prime Minister. According to him, Vikasit Bharat 2047 aims to build a developed India through innovation, inclusive growth, governance, and empowered citizens. And in the budget of 2022-23, he has given 4 pillars of this Vikasit Bharat. The first pillar was Yuva, that is youth. Youth includes not only the young children's, but you and me are also a part of this youth. In youth, we consider the population from 15 to around even now 60, 65 years also. Then the second pillar will be Garib, that is poor. We have to uplift this Garib or this poor. Then third, Mahilaye, that is women. There is a need of empowerment of the women. Now, if we think 1947 or before that, the status of women into the society was very low. Now it is improved a lot. And just now you can see, even the person who had introduced me was a woman, and your coordinator, Aparna Madam, is also a woman. So now women's are there in every part. Women's are there in every part. They are contributing towards the national development, but still women wants to have their say into the families also. Empowerment will be fulfilled then and only then when women will have their right to contribute into the family's decision. If that is coming true, then that condition will be fulfilled. And the last pillar of Vikasit Bharat, as discussed into the budget, was Annadata, that is farmers. Farmers are also important. In Corona period also, even after Corona period also, now we can underline the importance of our farmers, because everything was closed into the COVID-19. Lockdown was there everywhere, but only our Annadata or farmer was working. And no one can live on this planet without Annadata. But Annadata himself is in problem. He is having lots of problems to face. In that situation, we must empower our Annadata also. So for Vikasit Bharat, according to our Prime Minister, Yuva, Garib, Mahilaye and Annadata all should be empowered. If they are empowered, then and only then we can complete his dream of Vikasit Bharat. Now here, friends, I will have a question here. As I have told initially, which dreams you were having in past, and how many of them you have completed your dreams? Anybody please? We have seen 4 dreams now of 4 founding fathers. Now I want to know from you which dream you were having. Whether you have fulfilled or not, that is a different matter. Am I audible?
यस सर
Yes,
एक
sir. Yes,
अच्छा
sir.
One
एक
by
अच्छा
one, you
टीचर
can tell your dreams.
यस सर एक अच्छा टीचर बनने का सपना देखा था. आई थिंक वो अभी कंप्लीट हो गया है. और और तो मैं जो मेरा ग्रेट पर्सनैलिटी था महात्मा गांधी, उसी के डिपार्टमेंट से मैं यहाँ पे काम कर रहा हूँ अभी। वो भी एक अच्छा लगता है सर।
Very good. Completion
Okay.
of dream is a big success for everybody. You have completed your dream, and that is the success for you. And being teacher is not a final end, it is a process. So now you have to work for the development of your children's, of your students. Very good. Next, anybody else? Okay, if you could not complete your dream, then also you can tell, no problem, because every dream cannot be fulfilled. Just now we have seen develop India was our dream of our APJ Abdul Kalam, former president, and even our former prime minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, but that could not be achieved. But as APJ Abdul Kalam have told that if we complete some part of our dream, that is also a success. Yes, anybody else? Only one dream we have, only one student with one dream only, and that too fulfilled. That is a great thing.
So I would like to share.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I do have dreams, but some are fulfilled, some of them are not fulfilled.
No
Basic
problem.
dream everybody has is to buy a house. So that's a dream that is, I'm working towards it. Educationally, I want to pursue higher degrees. I'm working towards it one step at a time. It's very slow, but I'm sure that I'll reach there.
Yes, very good. You will complete your dream, because that is not the end. You are still young person, so you can complete your dream. Yes. Anybody else?
Some dreams I know will not be fulfilled. It's very difficult.
No, no problem. Nothing is difficult, but if you
It's
keep the
impossible,
dream,
actually.
aha,
It's impossible. I mean, not everybody gets into the government sector. Not everybody has a
yes,
well-paying job. I mean, you try your level best. You have the potential. You have the capabilities, but it's just a matter of luck, I believe.
lots of things are there, no problem. But keeping a dream is not a bad thing, and trying to fulfill it is a great thing. Okay, now we will shift to our
Oh,
part.
hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Mr. Pramod, yes.
Sir, I dreamt to be the author, critic before, means when I was a child, means in seventh or eighth standard.
Very good,
So right now I am a successful author, critic, and poet
very
also.
good, very good.
And I am having international recognition for that.
क्या बात है, very good, excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, friends, just I think 50 to 60 students maybe there, or more than that, but only 3 students shown their courage to tell their dreams. Maybe rest of the students are having the dream, but they are not courage to tell here at this platform. No problem. But if you don't have any dream, you are a youth, you are a yuva, and it will be my sincere request to all of you to have some dream with you, because a person without dream cannot be considered as a person. So no doubt you are not telling to anybody, but keep dreams with yourself, because these dreams, once you keep for yourself, you will work hard to complete those dreams. And no doubt, if 100% success is not there, and if 50% success is there, that is also a better thing for any person. Now we come to the our aspect. These were the dreams of our founding fathers. Now when we come to the Vikasit Bharat 2047, just now I have told you Here 4 pillars are there. With that, there are some of the engines of this Vikasit Bharat also. And into that, academic leadership and institutional excellence are the most important engines for achieving this Vikasit Bharat 2047. And our today's lecture is centered around these 2 points: academic leadership and institutional excellence. Because without these two, Vikasit Bharat cannot be fulfilled. These two aspects, they transform India's demographic dividend into a globally competitive, innovation-driven economy. As you know, our population will be around 150 crores. This is a huge demographic dividend for us. More than 100 crores youths are there into this country. 100 crores youths means almost 50 to 60 countries of the world do not have this much population of youth people. Now we have to turn this demographic dividend by way of having global competition, and we have to be innovation driven economy. It is not just an enrollment to high quality research. It is not just an enrollment, but it leads to high quality research, multidisciplinary learning, and ethical value based governance aligned with NEP 2020. So for Vikasit Bharat, these two conditions are essential for us. And at the same time, we must have the proper ethical values also, because a Vikasit Bharat 2047 should not be self-centered, should not be selfish. Our youth should not be selfish. They must have ethical values. They must have value-based governance. Today, as you know, you are living into the country and you are having the experience that ethical values are declining. Value-based governance is declining, but it is the duty of ourselves to make it successful. Value based education, ethical education, with academic leadership and with institutional excellence. Now another question I am having to you friends. Now we come to the academic leadership. So we want to know some qualities of the leadership. Now I want to know which qualities you must think a leader should have.
Should be visionary, should be dynamic,
Yes, should be
should be
visionary.
effective communicator,
The good communication skills.
Yes, very good.
empathetic,
Empathetic, correct.
should lead by example,
Yes, should set example from his own walkings.
should be updated.
Yes,
They
Any
should have a
changes.
positive outlook.
positive approach.
His enthusiasm should be contagious.
Yes, enthusiasm should be contagious. Yes, anybody else?
A good
So decision
decision
making.
maker. Yeah,
This good decision
decision
maker,
making.
correct.
He should be the example to others
Yes, he should set the examples for others.
to follow him.
Yes, to follow, correct.
He should be somebody who brings about the change that is
Yes,
required,
yes, change. He
who
should have the qualities
influences.
to change himself and to change others also.
He should be able to influence them, convince them that that
Yes,
is
he
the need
should
of
be
the
able
hour.
to influence. Yes, excellent. और कुछ?
Motivator,
मोटिवेटर. और कोई पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करेगा? Okay. See, why I'm asking this question, because today you are a teacher and your area is limited to your students, but it cannot remain like this. You have to come outside of the class and you have to lead your institute also. Sometimes you have to lead other institute also, as a principal, as a dean, as a registrar, or any other role like pro vice chancellor, vice chancellor, even till education minister, or you can be a leader of the teachers in uh, state assemblies also. You must not stop here, because this is the starting point of a teacher, not the end point. So once you know the leadership qualities, then and only then you are able to excel them. You may have those qualities, some of qualities you may not have there. You will try to take all those skills, all those leadership qualities with you, those who are not there with you, and you can go ahead. Because now we are there in 2026, we have around 21 years to reach to our goal of Vikasit Bharat 2047. And at that time, you will be there in one or the other type of leadership. Some of you may not have proper job also today, but future cannot remain like this. So you have to think on this aspect of qualities of the leadership. Now we will explain them in detail, and you will try to keep them in mind and try to bring them into the every drop of your blood, because tomorrow's leaders will come from you. Tomorrow's leaders will come from your students. So you must be able to teach your students also those leadership qualities. You must try to accommodate those qualities with yourself also. Now we will come to those leadership qualities one by one, and you keep them in your mind properly. We will start with its definition. Effective academic leaders continuously refine a specific set of personal qualities. Specific set of personal qualities. Set का मतलब है not one or two qualities, but there should be a group of qualities. And operational skills. You should not have only personal qualities, but you should be able to apply them. Like, communication skill is a good quality, but communication skill is a skill that you have to apply into the actual world. You have to work on it. Knowing just quality of communication skill is not sufficient. We must be able to use that properly to navigate the complexities of higher education and institutional growth. Navigate complexities, as you know, today's higher education is highly complex, but still we have to have this growth of these institutions, growth of this higher education. As you have entered now into the NAP 2020, friends, before NAP 2020 it was a different things that were required for a teacher. And now into the NEP 2020, you require some additional skills to deal with your students. There are a number of things which are expected by the government, which are expected by the society from you. So now today's higher education becomes a bit complex one. Even if you see the grade card or the mark sheet of a student, our mark sheets 20 years back were very simple. 4 to 5 subjects, their marks, and you can get the percentage. But in today's part, if you have seen, there are number of parameters are there in your grade card, in your mark sheets. Students even confused what will be the Indian knowledge system, what will be the VEC, what will be the SEC, what will be the major, what will be the minor. So all these complex things are now entered, and in future there will be growth into that one. So our leaders now require some additional things. A leader from 50 years back cannot be useful here. Now we come to those core qualities which are required for this NEP 2020. The first into that is the integrity. Integrity must be at the core of leadership. It must be at the root of the leadership. Leaders' actions must be consistent with their words. Whatever they will tell, they must walk on those words. The first requirement should be like this: whatever our leader will tell, he should follow that. You know, especially in politics, we can see leaders do not follow their words. They will think one thing to the people, but they follow the other things. We cannot consider as an integrity. But since it is a politics, there are lots of adjustments are there into that. But when we come to the academics, we must not do like this, because our childrens will learn from ourselves. So integrity is most important. We must have the integrity towards our childrens, towards our students, and we must walk our words. Second thing, as just now our friend have told here, communication skills. Leaders with strong communication skills can influence outcomes, means they can change the outcomes from negative to the positives. With proper communication skills, leader is able to motivate teams to succeed in tough situations and build trust within an organization. Now here organization means either our college or our university. We must be able to motivate our team. Means every team member should work according to his own wills. Okay. But no doubt, proper communication, if it comes from the leader, every team member will work properly. Every team member will be given a proper role. And if every person into the country, every person into the organization is working according to his role, naturally organization can flourish. The third important aspect which an academic leader should have is the positive feedbacks. Leaders who solicit feedback, distill it, and act on it. Means, first of all, they should accept the feedback from any stakeholder. It may be student, it may be teachers, it may be management. Distill it and act on it. Then he can be considered as a effective leader. Leaders should also be skilled at giving feedback to develop their teams. It should not be a one-sided. Friends, leaders should not only take the feedback from their stakeholders, from the students, but at the same time, he should be able to give a constructive feedback to the others also. When suppose you are a principal into the college and 100 staff is there working under you, you must be able to give them proper feedback also. Proper feedback means if some teachers are not working properly, a principal should tell them, but with soft skills. There should not be punishment now and then, because once you are giving only punishments to your teachers, to your students, then they fed up. So here, what is required? You must be able to have soft skills with you. You should give them proper feedback. You should motivate them to work properly. You can gradually change their behavior. you can gradually change their behavior. So it is an important aspect that two-side feedback should be there from an academic leader. He should give the feedback and he should be able to accept the feedback also. Resilience, the capacity to adapt to changing policies and situations. This is very important aspect. Resilience, most of the time we could not pay attention to this aspect, but as you know, just now NEP 2020 comes, and most of the teachers were feeling that how we can do this, it is not possible for us. Students cannot go to the on-job training. How we can send them to the community engagement programs? How we can teach them VEC, SEC, IKS? No doubt these are problems are there, but a leader or a teacher should have a capacity to adapt. Adapt means to adapt the new situation, these changing policies and these situations. So if a new things come, we must come forward to accept it. We must try to change ourselves with it. As you know, the water, the best example will be water. If you keep the water in open area, it can be scattered. If you keep the water into the bottle, it will remain there as a horizontal part like a bottle. If you keep the water into the glass, water will be like a glass. So a teacher or a leader should have this aspect also, to change according to the situation. No doubt we must not go behind every situation. We will try to change that, but that change should be there for positive. It should not be there for negative aspect. Successful leaders prioritize leading with soft skills and carefully assesses the root cause of a situation, responding in a non-threatening yet strategic manner. They take responsibility also. So when a leader is resilient, he will take the responsibility for every decision. He should not hand over or shift his responsibility to the others. He should have take the responsibility. Then self-belief. Leader should have self-belief. Must lead with confidence and courage, and to do so, self-care is essential. Friends, if a leader do not have belief that we can go out of this problem, then the entire organization cannot come out of that problem. And nowadays, every college, every university is facing number of problems, number of challenging things are there. So if a self belief is there behind the leader, he will take the institution out of the problem. Just now our friend have told the vision, and there is nothing to tell about vision. Every leader should have the vision. We will not discuss more on that part. Emotional intelligence. Now leaders must develop and strengthen emotional intelligence via formal and on the job training. Everywhere we must have a emotional intelligence. Those belongs to psychology, they know that emotional quotient is there, isn't it? Nowadays even social quotient is there with IQ, isn't it? These things are there. How we come up from the emotions we have, and how we support the others to their emotions to come out of the problem, that is again a important quality of a leader. Networking, leaders should have proper networking around themselves, isn't it? Even they can go into the other institutes also, they can nurture, they can maintain relationship. And this networking and relationship is quite important in NEP 2020. Nowadays you have to prepare your network with industry also. Till now our education were disconnected from the industry. Now we have to connect our education with the industry. We must prepare our student as per the demands from the industry, and for that we must have our network, we must have our relationship. Then mentorship. A teacher or a leader must work as a mentor to their people. to their students, to their teachers. If they are working as a mentor, naturally the bond between the leader and follower will be strong. Then our leaders should be purposeful. Successful leaders should seek to inspire others and positively impact environments for the future. Just our one of our participants have told this aspect. We must influence the others. Leader should influence the other. So this purposefully should be done by the leaders. Then empathy, the ability to recognize and understand the perspectives of the students, faculty, and staff, fostering an inclusive environment. Now, empathy requires that you must able to understand the point of view of the student. As friends, you are going into the class. Suppose your class is at 11 a.m. and some students are coming at 8:05, some students are coming at 8:10, sorry, 11:05, 11:10, 11:15. Some of the students are absent. So we must not directly scold them or punish them. We must understand their point of view, why they are late, what is the problem. Sometimes if the morning college is there, morning lectures are there, students are not able to wake up from the bed and they are not able to come. No doubt this problem is there everywhere, isn't it? So we must have empathy to such students. Gradually you must be able to tell them and must improve their things of late coming. Same should be there with the faculty also, because faculty is also a human being. He may be having same problems, then your staff may be having the same problems. No doubt sometimes your principals will not hear you. You have some problems but your principal will not hear. But this is the learning from you. You must not become like this in future. If you become a principal, if you become a dean, if you become a vice chancellor, you must be able to hear the point of view of the every teacher. Then transparency, building trust through honest ethical decision making and by keeping one's word. This is required, isn't it? When you make any decision, there should be transparency into that. Just now in today's world, as you have seen, the NEP 2020 was passed into the central government's parliament in 2020. But credit NEP 2020's all those aspects were passed at global level in 2013. So after 2013, we have taken 7 years to implement the NEP 2020. No doubt it's our policy, but guidelines comes from 2013 at World Summit. At the same time, after 2020, 3 years were given by the government to improve ourselves to this new system. No doubt in last 2 years, government is forcing us to accept these policy. So decision making is limited. But in future, if we go into leadership, we must maintain proper ethical decision making. Means when you take every decision, you must include all those people who are associated with decision. That is called as transparency. And in academics, this transparency is essential. No doubt in politics there cannot be a transparency. Even organizations, private companies, banking, they may not have proper transparency. But here we are dealing with our students, here we are dealing with the teachers, so we must have the transparency. Then humility and lifelong learning, recognizing that there is always more to learn and being open to constructive feedback from the academic community. We have told that we must have two-way feedback. Now from academic community also we must be able to learn the things. Now I become principal, now I become dean, now I will stop teaching, I will stop connecting with the student, I have lot of things to do. I do not have time, but we must not stop learning. It should be lifelong learning. Isn't it? Even if you take the examples of Atal Bihari Vajpayee or other our leaders, after losing their post also, they were busy into learning new things. So lifelong learning is an essential part for any academic leader. Now we come to the essential skills of academic leadership. Here, if we come, strategic planning is necessary. The ability to see the big picture, that is, we call the vision, set a clear long term vision and build a cohesive plan that others can follow. Now, first academic skill that is required for an academic leader, he should have a strategic planning. Second, effective communication, just now we have told on this part. Then collaboration and delegation, knowing when delegate tasks, when to delegate tasks to the others, empowering team members, and based on their strengths, and promoting interdisciplinary teamwork. See, friends, in future, when you become a leader, you must not have the thing that everything will be done by you. You must be able to delegate the work to the others. It should not be division of work only. With division of work, there should be empowering of those work also. Means whatever the rights are there with that particular work, that should be given. When you become a principal of the college, you must have your with yourself vice principal also. So you must delegate some work to the vice principal, but it should not be only giving the work, but with that work you should give them rights also. You should give them some powers also. Otherwise we cannot consider as a collaboration or delegation. The fourth aspect is data driven decision making, that is leveraging institutional data to make informed choices regarding student success, resource allocation, and policy implementation. Friends, as you know, in today's world, everything is driven by data. Everything is work according to the data. In economics, till now we were having only four factors of production, but nowadays it is considered that there is a fifth factor of production, and that factor of production is knowledge, and knowledge is associated with the data. So a principal or today's vice chancellor, if they have to take the decision, they must have data in their hand. Without data they cannot take the decision. 20 years back, 50 years back, with understanding, a principal or VC could be able to take the decision. Nowadays institutions becomes very big. Thousands of students are there, hundreds of teachers are there. So it is not possible for a leader to take the decisions only having a look at everything. They must have data with themselves. But how to prepare that data, how to analyze that data, and how to interpret that data is important for today's leader. So based on this data, he can take the decision, he can make the policy decisions that will affect the students also, that will affect the staff also, that will affect the institution also. So this data is becoming a very important skill, and that skill a leader should learn. He should not be dependent on the others for this aspect. So friends, it is about the academic leadership, academic excellence, and which skills you must have for a better leader. Now we turn to the second important aspect of institutional excellence. Before going to this institutional excellence, I want to know from you if you have any doubts regarding this academic leadership. You can ask so that you can get some mental rest also. You can think on this aspect. If you want to add something to this part, that is also acceptable, because I must not say that I know everything about this academic leadership. Something, if it is missing, you can add to the discussion. So it should not be a one-sided discussion from me. You can add some parts into that one also. You can ask your doubts also. We can give you 2 minutes for that. Yes, anybody wants to add something, or anybody wants to have some doubts regarding academic leadership? If there are no doubts, then we can move forward if you want. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Because this is a problem of online sessions. If offline is there, now our students, our staff can be there before us ready. But in online, we don't know whether we are audible or not, whether uh, the people from other side are hearing or not. There are lots of problems into that. Yes, any problem, any doubt, anything you want to add, or anything that you want to add from the Vikasit Bharat 2000 point of 2047 point of view to the discussion just now we had. Because everybody is having their own opinion also, everybody is having diverse opinion also.
Sir,
Okay. Yes.
sir, when about when saying about the syncretism, like as a samanvayavad. So, can we uh, can you explain about the means qualities of academic leadership? जैसे कि संत महंतो उन्होंने समन्वयवाद के ऊपर बहुत सारा काम किया है। लाइक जैसे कि मैं अभी गांधीयन थॉट यहाँ पे पढ़ाता हूँ, तो गांधी भी उनका एक लीडरशिप रहा है, लीडरशिप का एक क्वालिटीज रहा है।
Yes.
और हमारे जो बहुत सारे फ्रीडम फाइटर है, उनमें भी एक जब लीडरशिप करते थे तो उनमें एक समन्वयवाद जो सिंक्रेटिज्म था वो बहुत ही एक्टिवली करता था, काम करता था। बहुत सारे कल्ट हम पंथों में भी काम करते देखते हैं, तो पंथों में भी ये बहुत बड़ा इफेक्टिवली हमें दिखता था। तो उसके ऊपर थोड़ा बताए तो अच्छा होगा सर।
ओके।
हाँ
समन्वयवाद जो है, अ, मैं पूरा तो लिटरेचर का स्टूडेंट नहीं हूँ। आई एम ए स्टूडेंट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स। और आपने जैसे बताया है कि इन पास्ट आवर लीडर्स वेर ओपन टू द क्रिटिसिज्म and they were try to bring the two sides, two thinkings to one area. And in today's world, as you said, there is a lacking of these things. uh, but if you see freedom fighters, their thoughts, their vision are completely different from today's situation. In before 1947, all people of our country were having one vision to make India independent, and our leaders comes from these people, so they were also having these things, so they were accepting the criticism of the others also. In today's world, there is a lack of this aspect of criticism, or as you have told, samanvayavad. But in future, we must work for this. No doubt, in every period, a country should be same. अंग्रेजों के आने से पहले इंडिया एक प्रॉस्परस कंट्री था, फिर अंग्रेजों ने इसको बहुत लूटा, फिर हम पुअर हो गए, फिर फ्रीडम के बाद हमारे पास कुछ नहीं था, धीरे धीरे हमने डेवलपमेंट किया है, अब हम कुछ हद तक आगे पहुंच गए हैं और फ्यूचर में हम डेवलप बनने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। तो ये जो समन्वयवाद है, जो पहले अच्छा था, आज थोड़ा सा कम हुआ है, बट फ्यूचर में हमें इसको डेवलप करना पड़ेगा। वो एक लीडरशिप क्वालिटीज़ हमें रखनी पड़ेंगी। आपने जैसा कहा, ये बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि हमारे लीडर्स आज के, या इवन इंस्टीट्यूशनल लीडर्स ऑल्सो, दे आर नॉट एक्सेप्टिंग द क्रिटिसिज्म फ्रॉम एनी साइड। उनका कहना है कि हम जो कहेंगे वही फाइनल है। तो सारे ऐसे नहीं होते हैं, और फ्यूचर में हमारी जिम्मेदारी है अभी कि हम अपने स्टूडेंट्स को इस तरह से बनाएंगे, क्योंकि अगर इस तरह से हम उनको नहीं बनाएंगे फ्यूचर में, या हम नहीं बनेंगे इस तरह से फ्यूचर में, तो फिर इंडिया तो डेवलप होगा, बट जैसा हम देखते हैं आज अमेरिका डेवलप कंट्री है ना, बट डेवलप कंट्री होके भी वो हर एक छोटे छोटे कंट्रीज के ऊपर अटैक करता है। उसको जहाँ पे लगता है कि उसका इंटरेस्ट कहीं मार खा रहा है, तो वहाँ पे जाके अटैक करता है। अब ईरान के साथ युद्ध किया, इराक के साथ युद्ध किया, या और कुछ पिछले 50-60 साल में अमेरिका ने बहुत सारे युद्ध किए हैं। इसमें से कोई भी युद्ध अगर हम डीपली उसका स्टडी करेंगे, तो वो वर्ल्ड पीस के लिए कभी नहीं थे। They were not there for world peace. They were not there for the welfare of the people of the entire world. They were there to protect the interest of America. Even most of the developed countries also, they are working to foster their interest. Even our neighbor China is also fostering this part of their interest. But India, in past, when it was developed, and almost 25 to 30% of the world production were going from India, at that time also neither we have attacked anybody, and nor we have created any problem to the world. And our thinking today also is the same. In future also, when we will be developed, we must be like this. We must help those who want the help after making India develop also. So as my friend have told, this quality should be there of accepting the criticism or having a samanvayavad in a leadership. Very good. Anything else?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? कोई और पूछना चाहता है? You can tell in Hindi also, even in Marathi also, to ask questions. I can give the freedom. Okay, now we come to the other important aspect for a Vikasit Bharat, that is institutional excellence. Friends, shall we move to this part? Okay, we come to the institutional excellence. Till now, we were thinking of one person, and that person should lead the institute, should lead the college, or even should lead lead the society or nation. Now we want institutional excellence. Now we have to work as an institute. There are core components of this. First is continuous improvement. Continuous improvement requires regular assessment of outcomes. Nowadays, if you have seen, we have program outcomes, we have course outcomes. In the same way, institutions should also have its outcomes. They must enlist, first of all, we should do these things, we should have these our outcomes, and feeding those results back into the planning process to constantly refine policies and efficiency. इसको हम continuous improvement कह सकते हैं. First of all, we must work for outcomes. We must be able to feed them in our planning process, and it should be there for refining and increasing efficiency. At the same time, continuous का मतलब है it should not stop at one particular time. It should be continued. Shared vision and communication. Ensuring leadership goals are clear and understood across all levels, which motivate stakeholders and build trust. Vision should be shared. Just now we have told that our leader should have the vision, but now in institutional excellence we must have a shared vision. Shared vision means it should not be a vision of one person, it should be a vision of 4%, 5%, 10%, more than that, because if more people are involved, then vision can be a better and it can be implementable also. Proper communication is necessary with stakeholders, and we must build our trust with the stakeholders. Which are our stakeholders? Society is our stakeholders, students are our stakeholders. Then standardization and simplification. Standardization should be there in entire country. Now we are implementing NEP 2020, and before that I have told you in 2013 at world level it was accepted by all the countries of the world that we must have a proper structure of education throughout the world. Means standardization is expected, and that's why nowadays there is an entry of grading into that one. So, at world level, in especially into the developed world, they do not ask you about marks, about percentage, they will ask about the grade card. And nowadays gradually we are giving those grade cards to the students, so that is a standardization. And there should be a simplification. Nowadays, as we have seen, NEP 2020 is becoming very burdensome to the teachers because it is a new. But gradually, when we enter into the NEP 2020, gradually we will find out the simple ways to do things, how to teach VEC in a simple way, how to teach IKS in a simple way, how to teach the student how to get the jobs, that for on-job training, for community engagement programs. Today it is becoming very difficult for us, but for that we have artificial intelligence also, we have data-driven technology also with ourselves, so we can find out the ways and we can make it very simple for the future generations. In higher education, institutional excellence is a university's systematic ability to seamlessly link its administrative operations and its academic and research missions. See, friends, institutional excellence in today's university world should be a systematic ability. Systematic ability means we have the ability, but it should be systemized. Seamlessly means without having frictions. Smoothly it should work. Administrative operations, academic and research in proper way. Then at the same time, rather than evaluating individual faculty members or isolated programs, we should be able to assess the entire institution's functions. See, friends, in today's world, evaluating individual faculty should not be a goal of an institution. We must not target individual teacher. No doubts, as you know, in some institutions, some teachers can be targeted. Even some teachers also target their institutions. Both sides happens, but it is not expected into the institutional excellence. It should work as a cohesive ecosystem. Cohesive ecosystem means, as we know the ecosystem of the nature, everybody is dependent on the other. Here also, we must have the situation where all teachers should be aligned with each other to complete our vision, deliver measurable values. deliver measurable value to students. Now, measurable values are those values which can be measured properly. Then it should be for society also, and it should have global academic community also. So everywhere, either students, society, or global academic community, we should be able to set our proper values, and those should be measurable. Why it matters, friends? क्यों हमें institutional excellence चाहिए? When an institution commits to this level of quality, जैसा अभी कहा है, global academic standing, it yields several highly tangible benefits. हमें बहुत सारे tangible benefits मिल जाते हैं. पहला है higher satisfaction, consistently meeting or exceeding the needs of students or target beneficiaries. अगर हमारे students, if they get pass, if they get major jobs, if they go abroad, and if they call us, then it will be a pride for us. That will be a satisfaction. So if our target beneficiaries get something, that will be a satisfaction for ourselves, for teacher, for institution. Long-term sustainability, building structured, documented governance that ensures success is tied to the organization's system, not just the efforts of a few individuals. Sustainability, again, that should be long term. If it is sustainable for 5 years, 10 years, as you know, when NAC comes, some institutions got A grade, some institutions got A plus grade, but after 5 years, after 10 years, and now after NEP 2020, after COVID-19, some organizations have got B plus. Those who are having A grade, A plus grade, A plus plus grade, they decline. It should not be declined. It should be going up, or it should maintain this at high level. That is called as sustainability, long-term sustainability. Then competitive advantage. Nowadays, everywhere competition is there. Now we have to create high brand value for our institution. We should have operational efficiency and the agility to adapt to modern challenges. मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड में बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस है, और वो दिन ब दिन बढ़ते जा रहे हैं. ऐसे सिचुएशन में वी हैव टू अडेप्ट टू दीज चेंजेस. दैट इज कॉल्ड एजिलिटी. वी मस्ट हैव द कैपेसिटी टू equip ourselves to the changing situation. We must create our brand value of our institution, or proper efficiency we have to maintain. Friends, we come to the pillars of this institutional excellence now. The first pillar is visionary leadership. We have discussed about that, so we will not discuss on that part, because first part was related to the leadership. Academic excellence, high quality teaching, learning, pedagogies, updated curriculum, outcome based education, effective assessment systems should be there. Friends, in NEP 2020, as you know, there is an outcome based education. So let me ask you one question. How many of you are using program outcomes, course outcomes in your syllabus, and you are giving this to your students also? Yes, friends. How many of you are using program outcomes, course outcomes? You don't have
Yes, sir.
program outcomes, course outcomes in your syllabus now? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So whether you have prepared those course outcomes or you were involved in those course outcome preparation, program outcome preparation or not. See, if you are belongs to a autonomous college, then you are the part of this outcome based education. No doubt, if you are belongs to a affiliated college, then it is a problem because university will prepare, and those who are there into the board of studies they are preparing. But if you have not seen, it will be my sincere request to all of you that today or tomorrow you see your syllabus, you see the syllabus of your university if you are not belongs to a autonomous college, and see whether there are program outcomes, whether there are course outcomes or not, because this is essential. In future, program outcomes, course outcomes, students will ask the questions on those parts. Okay, we move further to the next aspect, research, innovation, and intellectual growth. You all are associated with this aspect of research, innovation, and intellectual growth. So there is no need to tell something about this. Student centric approach in NEP 2020 now, everywhere student centric approach is there for the holistic development of the student. Autonomous colleges already are doing all these things, so nothing to explain for them. But for affiliated colleges, university should take the responsibility. Even it will be my sincere request to you also, you also work on this student centric approach and you give it to the others also. Good governance and transparency, proper governance should be there into the institutions, proper transparency should be maintained, because it should go for accountability, it should have ethical practices, there should be a decentralization, there should be a financial discipline. Financial discipline is becoming very important aspect, because most of the colleges into the rural areas, they are facing lot of financial problems, because on one hand number of students are reducing, students are not paying the fees to the colleges, and at the same time number of papers, number of teachers, number of activities are increased, so institutional expenditure is increasing. So financial discipline is becoming a core part now of the institutional excellence aspect, because in 2047 same institute should be there to work for making India a Dixit Bharat. We should adhere to the statutory regulations, ensuring stakeholders' confidence and institutional credibility. On one hand, there should be stakeholders' confidence. On the other hand, there should be institutional credibility. And these two are, we call the trade-off aspects for an institutions. Then quality assurance and continuous improvement. For that, we know IQAC is there, NAC is there. Now benchmarkings are there for everything. So we are there into the continuous improvement. But in most of the colleges, they are not showing proper data, proper record, even to the NAC also. And that's why in last 1 or 2 year, the NAC process of visiting college and giving grade is stopped, and now mostly it is happening online. And IQAC NAC is now demanding all the data in proper way. With artificial intelligence, they are trying to find out whether the institutes are telling true or not. This time is a very bad time for us, because we are working for quality assurance to our stakeholders. We must not give wrong data to the NAC, we must not give wrong information to the NAC. Some colleges were audited and they find out that quality assurance is not up to the mark, as is shown by some of the colleges or institutions. So this is our responsibility, because in today or in tomorrow we are becoming the leader and we are running the institutions. Digital transformation and technology integration, we must have learning management system. Now we are learning on this LMS, isn't it? Through the online mode, we are now connected with each other. Now artificial intelligence, data analytics, smart classroom, e-governance, all these updates are coming in our education into the institutes, and a excellent institute should adopt all these things. Social responsibility is also expected, community engagement is also expected, and for that we have now community engagement programs. Till now we were having NSS, NCC. Nowadays extension activities are increased, and now every student at SY level in our Mumbai University, we have at SY level community engagement programs are given to the students. They should go into the community, they should understand the problems of the community, they will try to solve those problems. No doubt, every time solving those problems are not possible, but at least if you understand those problems, then it will be a holistic development of our students. Global outlook and collaboration. Institutional excellence is strengthened through international collaborations. Just now in NEP 2020, now NAC is forcing us to have collaboration. So now we have collaboration with our nearby colleges, but it should be now the collaboration with the A grade colleges, A plus plus grade colleges throughout India. Even at global level also we can go and we can have global collaborations, and that too we must have global outlook. We must have partnerships for that, and we must go for global ranking also, adoption of international best practices also to enhance global competitiveness. NIRF is there, that will be there for the colleges, institutions, that will be India ranking. At Maharashtra also we have ranking. We must enter into the global ranking also, because if you make our institution great, it is expected that we must enter into the global ranking also. Then and only then, from each and every part of the world, the students will come to your institutions, will come to your college, will come to your university. Otherwise, nobody will come. Even our students will go outside, isn't it? Just now we can see most of our students are going abroad, because they think that they are getting best education there, because those institutes have built up themselves into that global ranking. Now we come to how we can measure the excellence of these institutions. We have evaluation parameters and we have primary focus metrics also. The first aspect into this is teaching and resources. Faculty to students ratio should be proper. Now friends, everything is not in our hand. Faculty student should be less possible, then faculty credentials should be there, means faculty should have updated themselves, they have proper research skills, they must have other communication skills also. There should be a physical infrastructure with the institutions, there should be digital transformation tools also. Means it should not be a chalk and talk method in every institute, they must have digital tools also. Second aspect is research ecosystem. We must have multidisciplinary collaboration. Global impact should be there. Research grants we should get for that. Incubation and startup facilities we must provide to our students. Then graduation outcomes. Just now I have asked you, but nobody have given me the answer, that we must have the outcomes, program outcomes, course outcomes, that will lead to the employment rates, progression to higher education, proper salary averages will come, and overall student satisfaction will come. Then inclusivity and outreach. Regional diversity is there, gender balance should be there, financial aid penetration should be there, especially into the rural area, and accessible infrastructure should be there. Accessible infrastructure for all. Then global recognition. Just now I have discussed about this part. Autonomy designation should be there, that is institutions of eminence in India should be there. Means some of the institutions should be there which can have global ranking, and the students from other countries should come to such institutions. We have NAC for the accreditation process. They are having now 5 layers, or we call the 5 tiers of the institutions. Then ranking is there, India level ranking is there, world level ranking is there, like NIRF and QS world rankings are there. So we must take our institute to such rankings, that first of all you must be able to properly accredit yourself at NAC. Then NIRF ranking, you should first of all enter your college, then you can come into its proper NIRF ranking, and then you can go to the world ranking where QS world rankings are there. So we can start from a teacher. Gradually we can update to ourselves, we can update to our institute, and we can make the global presence of our institutions. So all these roles, if we properly complete, then and only then we can complete the dream of our Prime Minister of Vikasit Bharat. Because we got the job, we remain there into our job till our retirement. That should not be our aim. But we must excel ourselves every day from individual. Just now one of our friend have told that he was having a dream of becoming a teacher, and now he is a teacher. So his first dream is fulfilled. Now I will request that friend and to other also, now keep some higher dreams also, that you can become a leader into your institute, you can become a principal, you can become a dean, you can become a vice chancellor. And not only that, you can take your institute at national level, you can take yourself, take your institute at international level also. If these things happens for at least 90% of the institutions in our country, then Vikasit Bharat 2047 will be fulfilled without any doubt in my mind, even in your mind also. Now I will give some work for you. You write down with yourself these things. I will give you 1 or 2 minutes, and then we can end our session. Do introspection and find out which are the leadership qualities you have. Just now with discussion, I have told you 13 to 14 qualities. One of our friend have added 1 or 2 qualities into that one. Now you find out which leadership qualities you have. Write down those qualities carefully, and you can tell me, you can post here, you can give it to your coordinator also. Second work that I will give you, if you are appointed as principal or dean or pro vice chancellor or VC in college or university, then what will be your plan to develop your institute? The first work that you have to do is find out leadership qualities in you. And second thing, if you are appointed as a leader in your institute, what will be the plan with yourself to develop your institute? Because these two things are very important. And if you could find out some qualities with yourself, suppose out of 13, 14 qualities that we have discussed just now, you can find out only 3 or 4 qualities with yourself. Remaining qualities you can try to acquire. So, and in second aspect, if you are becoming principal or VC, then you should have a plan with yourself, because sometimes even in some of the colleges, if a regular principal is retired, then a senior most teacher will be made principal. So in that situation, you must be able to handle the institute, and once you are able to handle the institute, you are able to handle institute as a full-fledged principal or VC also. So in that case, you must have a plan with yourself. So these two things, you prepare yourself, you write down with yourself, and you hand over it to your uh, coordinator also. With this, thanks to all of you silently hearing and following the session. Now, if you have any questions, then you can ask the questions. We will try to answer those questions now.
Hello,
Yes,
am I audible?
yes, Mr. Pramod, please ask the question.
Sir, you have explained many leadership qualities.
Yes.
As far as my understanding is concerned,
Hmm.
I like three qualities the most.
Yes.
First is vision,
Ah.
second is decisiveness,
Yes.
and third one is innovation.
Correct.
So these three qualities are very important in administrative, in regaining the administrative excellence.
Yes.
Vision, decisiveness, and innovation. So what I personally believe
Hmm.
is that vision manifests direction.
Correct.
Decisiveness shows our action,
Correct.
and innovation brings out transformation. So these three leadership qualities the leaders must get inculcated among the staff faculty to get the institutional excellence. This is what I believe. So,
Yes. Very, very
is
good.
there any
Correct.
another examples from your side about vision, decisiveness, and innovation? So, what should be the impactful uh, decisions that the institution has to make, or the strategy has to be implemented in the actual classrooms so as to get the desired effects? Because this period is the age of transition, every
Correct.
old education and digital education, so all are getting confused with all these things. So what should be the role of a leader in present scenario?
Okay, you want to tell me the role now?
I am IQC director of my college. I For the last 15 years I worked.
Okay, should I tell the role now here, or you are just giving your views, or it's a question?
No, it's a question I
Okay.
want from your side. What is lagging in my knowledge, or is there any something additional things? Could you please add in it, in innovation, in decisiveness, and in vision? What should be the proper way of the strategy in order to enhance the educational
See,
academic?
most of the strategies just now we have told here, you can follow them properly. That will be sufficient. But if from personal point of view, if you want to ask me, then we can discuss it individually also. I will give my number also. You can take the number from Aparna madam also. We can discuss in detail on those aspects, because I want to know where you are working, how you are working, which problems you are having. Then we can I can guide you individually. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Just now I have given you the two works. One is the leadership qualities that you have to write down with yourself, And second thing, what will be your plan if you become a principal? I think with this we must stop here because we are running out of time. We can go to the coordinator or to the person who is handling the refresher course now.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I think next session is there.
हर सत्र घ्यायचं ना सर.
Yes. Now, thanks to one and all, even to the Aparna madam for university and for students also and participants from my side. Uh, Now, with your due permission, uh, I can leave the meeting because next session can be there with the other person, other expert. Is that
आभार
so?
मानतोय मॅडम पहिले. सरांचे आभार बाकी आहे.
Okay?
नमस्कार. मी रोल नंबर
Yes.
57 डॉक्टर ज्ञानेश्वर शिजूळ, सहाय्यक प्राध्यापक यशवंतराव चव्हाण महाविद्यालय सिल्लोड, डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर मराठवाडा विद्यापीठ छत्रपती संभाजीनगर, UGC मालवीय टीचर ट्रेनिंग सेंटर रिफ्रेशर कोर्स अंतर्गत सुरू असलेल्या उद्बोधन सत्रात विकसित भारत 2047 या विषयावरती आपण चर्चा करत आहोत. आजच्या सकाळच्या सत्राचे प्रमुख अतिथी आदरणीय डॉक्टर अजय दीक्षित सर यांनी अकॅडमिक लिडरशिप अँड इन्स्टिट्यूशनल एक्सलन्स या विषयावरती अत्यंत मोलाचे मार्गदर्शन केले. त्याबद्दल मी डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर मराठवाडा विद्यापीठाच्या वतीनं व रिफ्रेशर कोर्स मधील सर्व अभ्यासकांच्या वतीनं मी मनपूर्वक आभार मानतो. सरांनी आपल्या या विषयावरती मत मांडत असताना गांधी विचार यापासून आपली सुरुवात केली. महात्मा गांधी 1920 साली असं म्हणाले होते की खेड्याकडे चला, खेड्यामधील 70% जनता ही खेड्यामध्ये राहते. आणि अंत्योदयाची त्यांनी जी संकल्पना मांडली होती त्या संकल्पनेला धरून सरांनी अत्यंत महत्वाचे विचार मांडले. नेहरूचे विचार असतील किंवा अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी यांचे विचार असतील, यासह सरांनी अत्यंत मोलाचं विचार आपल्या या व्याख्यानामध्ये मांडलेले आहेत. तरुणांचा सहभाग या विकसित भारतासाठी अत्यंत महत्वाचा असणार आहे असेही विचार सरांनी मांडले. डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम ज्यावेळेस राष्ट्रपती पदावरती विराजमान झाले त्यावेळेस त्यांनी विकसित भारताची संकल्पना मांडली होती, व्हिजन 2020 आणि ज्यावेळेस ते राष्ट्रपती पदावरून पायउतार झाले त्यावेळेस त्यांनी इम्पॉसिबल असंही म्हणलं होतं की 2020 पर्यंत भारत हा विकसित राष्ट्र होऊ शकत नाही. हीच संकल्पना पुढे नेण्यासाठी भारताचे पंतप्रधान डॉक्टर नरेंद्र मोदी साहेब यांनी विकसित भारताचं स्वप्न बघितलं आणि 2047 पर्यंत भारत हा विकसित झाला पाहिजे. त्यासाठी स्किल इंडिया असेल, डिजिटल इंडिया असेल, या माध्यमातून भारत विकसित झाला पाहिजे अशी भूमिका मांडली. अजय दीक्षित सरांनी त्या व्याख्यानामधून विचार मांडत असताना अत्यंत महत्वाचे विचार या ठिकाणी मांडलेले आहेत. अभ्यासकांनी विचारलेल्या प्रश्नांनाही सरांनी उदाहरणासह या ठिकाणी उत्तरे दिलेली आहेत. उच्च शिक्षण आणि संस्थात्मक विकासामध्ये व्यक्तीची भूमिका खूप महत्वाची आहे. शैक्षणिक नेतृत्वासाठी सरांनी प्रामाणिकपणा, संवाद कौशल्य, सकारात्मक वृत्ती, लवचिकता, आत्मविश्वास, दूरदृष्टी, सहानुभूती, पारदर्शकता, नम्रता, आजीवन शिक्षण या मुद्द्यासह आपले विचार या ठिकाणी मांडलेले आहेत. संस्थात्मक उत्कृष्टतेसाठी सातत्यपूर्णता, सामाजिक दृष्टिकोन, प्रभावी संवाद, समाधान, दीर्घकालीन शाश्वतता आणि स्पर्धात्मक लाभ आदी मुद्द्यांसह सरांनी आपल्या व्याख्यानामधून अत्यंत महत्वाचे विचार मांडलेले आहेत. सरांचे मी पुन्हा एकदा या अत्यंत उत्कृष्ट व्याख्यानाच्या माध्यमातून सरांचे मी आपल्या या रिफ्रेशर कोर्स मधील सर्व अभ्यासकांच्या वतीने मनपूर्वक आभार मानतो. डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर मराठवाडा विद्यापीठाच्या वतीने व मालवीय टीचर ट्रेनिंग सेंटरच्या वतीने मी सरांचे आभार मानतो आणि थांबतो. मनपूर्वक धन्यवाद सर.
थँक्यू, धन्यवाद. माझा नंबर इथे दिलेला आहे आणि ईमेल ID पण दिलेला आहे. जर तुमचे काही पर्सनल क्वेश्चन्स असतील रिलेटेड टू अकॅडमिक एक्सलन्स किंवा इतर हायर एज्युकेशनशी रिलेटेड तुम्ही कॉन्टॅक्ट करू शकता.
निश्चित सर, निश्चित.
I have here my mobile number and email ID also. If you have any problem, doubt related to this aspect or related to any other, you can contact me. If you contact on phone number, that will be better, because mail ID we cannot see every day. So thanks to one and all. Thank you university, thank you Aparna madam for giving me this opportunity to present myself here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
should I leave the meeting now? मीटिंग एंड करू का? तर माझ्याकडून मी एक बाहेर होऊ का मीटिंग मधून? तुमचं सेशन चालू ठेवायचं असेल ना तुम्हाला?
हो सर, हो सर.
ओके, मी
Yes,
एक्झिट.
sir.
थँक्यू.
क्या हमें भी मीटिंग में रुकना है क्या? अमोल सर हैं क्या मीटिंग में?
Amol sir, shall I start? Amol sir?
पुढच्या सत्राचे अतिथी जॉईन करावं लागेल सर, नंतर सुरू करावं लागेल आपलं सत्र.
Yes, second resource person has been joined this Zoom meeting. I welcome to Madhav Deshmukh sir. I request to participant please introduce Madhav Deshmukh.
May I get the screen sharing? Please allow me to share the screen.
Yeah, sir. You are okay. I will make the post. Yes.
Shall I start, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Roll of
Okay.
update.
Very good afternoon, all of you.
Good
UGC
afternoon, sir.
MPTC डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर मराठवाड़ा यूनिवर्सिटी छत्रपति संभाजी नगर द्वारा एकेडमिक लीडरशिप एंड इंस्टीट्यूशनल एक्सीलेंस फॉर विकसित भारत 2047 विषय पर आयोजित रिफ्रेशर कोर्स के दिनांक 15 जुलाई 2026 के मॉर्निंग सेशन के द्वितीय सत्र में मैं डॉक्टर उमेंद्र सिंह, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ टीचर एजुकेशन, धर्म समाज कॉलेज, अलीगढ़, उत्तर प्रदेश, आप सबका हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं। जैसा कि आप सबको विदित है कि आज द्वितीय सत्र के आदरणीय रिसोर्स पर्सन डॉक्टर माधव देशमुख सर जी का परिचय आप सबके सामने प्रस्तुत करने का अवसर प्राप्त हुआ है। इसके लिए मैं पूरी टीम यूजीसी एमएनपीटीसी को धन्यवाद देता हूं। डॉक्टर माधव देशमुख सर आज वर्तमान में प्रोफेसर एंड हेड डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स शिवाजी यूनिवर्सिटी में कार्यरत हैं। आपने अपना ग्रेजुएशन एवं पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ मुंबई से किया तथा शिवाजी यूनिवर्सिटी से पीएचडी की उपाधि प्राप्त की है। आपने लगभग 17 वर्ष तक सोमैया कॉलेज मुंबई में अध्यापन कार्य किया। तत्पश्चात लगभग 12 वर्ष से आप शिवाजी यूनिवर्सिटी में कार्यरत हैं। आपके शोध का क्षेत्र अर्थशास्त्र के अंतर्गत एग्रीकल्चरल इकोनॉमिक्स एंड डेवलपमेंटल स्टडीज रहा है। इस क्षेत्र में शोध करते हुए डॉक्टर देशमुख सर ने राष्ट्रीय एवं अंतर्राष्ट्रीय शोध पत्र पत्रिकाओं में लगभग 86 रिसर्च पेपर प्रकाशित कराए हैं और 36 बुक्स में आपने चैप्टर्स लिखे हैं। आपके निर्देशन में अब तक 10 विद्यार्थियों ने पीएचडी की उपाधि प्राप्त की है। आपका साइटेशन इंडेक्स बहुत बेहतरीन लगभग 572 है। आपने यूजीसी आईसीएसएसआर से फंडेड लगभग 7 रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट्स कंप्लीट किए हैं। जिनकी टोटल प्रोजेक्ट ग्रांट लगभग 1.5 करोड़ रुपीस थी। आपने 12 कॉन्फ्रेंसेस एज ए कन्वीनर आयोजित कराई हैं। इसके अतिरिक्त डॉक्टर देशमुख सर का एकेडमिक एवं एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एक्सपीरियंस भी बहुत विस्तृत है। आप नैक की पीयर टीम कमेटी के चेयरमैन, मेंबर कोऑर्डिनेटर भी रह चुके हैं। आप शिवाजी यूनिवर्सिटी में विभिन्न समितियों जैसे IQAC के डायरेक्टर, फैकल्टी ऑफ ह्यूमैनिटीज के डीन एवं और अन्य बहुत सारी समितियों के सदस्य भी लगातार रहे हैं। इसके अतिरिक्त अभी तक आपकी 5 पुस्तकें प्रकाशित हो चुकी हैं। आपको शिवाजी यूनिवर्सिटी इकोनॉमिक एसोसिएशन कोल्हापुर से 2016 में डॉक्टर धनंजय गाडगिल अवार्ड और 2016 में ही GEPRA न्यू दिल्ली से राधाकृष्णन गोल्ड मेडल से पुरस्कृत किया जा चुका है। यू ऑल्सो रैंक्ड इन AD साइंटिफिक इंडेक्स ऑफ 2023, 2024 एंड 2025 ऑफ स्टैनफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी, यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स। सर, आपके इस वास्ट एक्सपीरियंस का लाभ प्राप्त करने के लिए मैं डॉक्टर उमेंद्र सिंह अपने समस्त प्रतिभागी साथियों के साथ आज के इस सत्र में आपको आमंत्रित करता हूं। आपका हार्दिक अभिनंदन है, स्वागत है सर। ओवर टू यू सर।
हेलो हेलो
जी सर।
हेलो am I audible?
यस सर, यस सर, यू आर ऑडिबल।
Yes, sir.
I am getting the sound. Yeah, is it clear now? Hello hello
Yes, sir.
I am getting the echo sound. Hello hello
Yes, sir,
Yes,
you are
sir.
audible and your screen is visible.
Fine, the screen is visible, but the point is I am getting the echo sound from your side.
Your voice is also clear, sir. No issues at our end.
Hello hello hello
Now it's echoing.
सर, आप 2 डिवाइस से लॉगिन है शायद। एक डिवाइस आप लीव कीजिए।
Then already I have used that other device.
अ,
Hello
यस, डेल आप यूज करें सर, डेल का ही आप यूज कीजिए, बाकी MS देशमुख वो लीव कीजिए सर।
Still it is working, MS Deshmukh. Hello, 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 hello. 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 Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The screen is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
I will just reshare this. Yeah. Is it okay? Hello.
Sir, it's not visible, only
So your
sir.
screen is visible, but not the presentation.
Presentation is not visible now.
No, sir, no.
But we can see your screen, sir.
Yes. Give me 1 minute.
So now visible, sir.
Now is it visible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is visible.
yeah.
Visible.
Fine. A very good afternoon, and sorry for little disturbances because of this technological setup. Now, I have been asked to deliver a lecture for this faculty development program, particularly the refresher course on academic leadership and institutional excellence for Viksit Bharat 2047. And on this particular lecture, I am going to talk about the higher educational institutions, academic leaders, role of academic leaders, and from the contribution of that particular academic leaders, how we can move for the institutional excellence. We all know that the Viksit Bharat 2047 is the dream of all of us. That is not only from the educational sector point of view, but even from the entire country point of view. It includes the different sectors like agriculture, industry, manufacturing, services, etc. And education becomes one of the part of this particular service sector. Talking about the various type of academic leaders, we know that from the educational institutions as such, either it is of primary education or the secondary education or maybe higher education at the university level, there are many peoples who are playing a role in the form of development of these institutions. And that's what we call as leaders. At a university level, if we talk about, we start from the chancellor of the university, then it comes to the vice chancellor of the university, then pro-vice chancellor of the university, particularly one at the administrative level, registrar of the university. Then we have the various kind of deans of the various faculties, faculty of humanities, faculty of the commerce and management, faculty of science and technology, faculty of interdisciplinary studies. So this is as per the Maharashtra Public University Act 2016 onwards. So and all these, and then it comes at a departmental level where the head of the department, etc., and of course the various kind of administrative positions from the register, deputy register, assistant register. All these are the part and parcel for the academic leadership and institutional excellence point of view. But before going to the exact role of these particular leaders, I would like to ask certain questions to all these participants. And we have to see to that we are associated with the higher education institutions. And once we know how the institutions are functioning, it may be the research institute, or it may be the college, it may be multi faculty college, or it may be the universities, that may be research universities, or the teaching universities, or maybe the cluster or the deep kind of universities. So these are the various questions I am posing before you, and you have to think on this particular aspect. The first question is, does the present education emphasis on the development of cognitive skill and the learning output? My point here is our major stakeholder, and though we talk about parents, community, society, etc., but student is the major stakeholder. So do we inculcate cognitive skill, and do we measure the learning output in the present education system? One has to see to that, one has to think on this. Another question is higher educational ecosystem severely fragmented? If you see the NEP 2020 before and National Education Policy 2020 implementation after. So before the National Education Policy, the educational setup, which was scattered in such a way that each department, each faculty were fragmented in the various departments. So the various departments, maybe for example, the commerce management, for example, humanities, economics, political science, sociology, etc. So we were fragmented in the various departments, and that was too rigid from the earlier system point of view. Is affiliation system relevant today? Well, still today, though we have gone for the implementation of National Education Policy 2020, still we have the universities and certain colleges affiliated to these universities. Universities like, for example, if we talk about Mumbai University, or maybe the universities in the state of Maharashtra, or maybe in the country like India. So here, most of the universities are having affiliated colleges. So affiliation system exists. But if you see the global picture from 200 plus countries, we come across that there are certain countries only the affiliation system exists, like India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. It means these are the SAARC countries in which the educational system is having affiliation system. But does it require today? That is also one of the question point. Does the current education make our student employable? Employability is very much critical issue. Each one has to think around this. Even academic leaders has to give more thought on this particular aspect, because placement, employability matters a lot. So the present education system in the past has done or really contributed nothing for the employability point of view. A rigid separation of disciplines. The point here is, if the art students is not allowed to move to the commerce, or commerce is not allowed to move to the science, or science is not allowed to move to the other kind of things like engineering or professional colleges. That's why we were totally divided our disciplines, and that was a rigid separation among the various faculties and disciplines. Though we have the largest number of institutions in the country, higher educational institutions, we are number one in the world. Still, most of the students are going outside for the higher education. Nothing but our students, to the extent of 4.3 million, which are going outside in the various countries or abroad, foreign universities to take their education. This is also we have to think from the educational aspect point of view. Does it provide the 21st century skill to enter into the job market? Prevalent approach of ad hoc contractual appointment, I mean, the recruitment of teacher is a very, very important issue for the higher education institution as such. Do we run the institutions with the ad hoc or temporary or contractual appointment? That is also one of the things. And the limited number of teachers and having limited institutional autonomy is also the important question before us. So these are the 9 points which I have posed before you, and I have provoked you to think on this particular aspect. Why? Because being a teacher, it becomes our responsibility to see to it that how we can tackle these issues or these problems, and from that, how one can improve the educational institutions. For those who are the leaders in the higher education institutions at a various capacity, maybe start from a teacher to the head of the department, and it goes at the administrative ladder in the form of administrative capacity, can think at a different level how we can resolve these issues. These are some of the issues I have put before you. There may be many other issues also before you to understand and think that how one can improve the higher education. It means the role of the leader is very important to address these issues. And that's why how the leadership which will take higher education institutions towards the excellence matters a lot. And that is why academic leadership is one of the very important aspect for the today's presentation point of view. So to reform the entire education as such, we have to address these questions which I have just now discussed. As we know that there are many educational policies which were there in the past. Almost 20 policies were there, and they are available on the portal of the Ministry of Education, Government of India. But this national education policy being a new policy, which is the first policy in the 21st century, which is talking about quality of education, which is talking about accessibility and equity of education, which is having a major focus on a holistic development of a student, in which there are 5 pillars. And these 5 pillars are affordability, accessibility, quality, equity, as well as the accountability. So all these issues which are very, very relevant, and to address these issues as a leader at a various capacity, we have to promote various kind of 5 C's which have been determined in the national education policy. And which are the 5 C's? Creative thinking. We have to imbibe creative thinking in the mind of our student, that's our stakeholder. He should be provoked to go for a critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and compassion. So these are the 5 C's which are very, very relevant from the higher education point of view. And that is why national education policy, which is emphasizing, which is promoting these aspects like creative thinking, critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and compassion too. Something more about this national education policy. This policy is having a pedagogical approach in which all these kind of creative thinking, as I mentioned, that 5 C's gets promoted. Not only that, innovation-driven education is also required. But from that critical and creative thinking, we should have to promote invention, discovery, or innovation-driven education. So the pedagogical approach or pedagogical shift is required in this higher education system. This system is of multidisciplinary, where we are integrating various disciplines. For example, humanities, science, commerce, technology, arts, all that is disciplines we are integrating in this particular policy. So this policy is of a multidisciplinary policy where the student will get more flexibility to move from one discipline to another discipline subject to certain credits. It is giving emphasis to the tech-enabled learning digital platform. The policy is promoting to the extent of online education. And if you go by the words of the NEP 2020, up to 40% that online courses are to be promoted. That's why a tech-enabled learning which will take place. Digital platforms are very, very important. This will allow learner to learn within the class as well as outside the class. It means it is giving more flexibility. Our framework is more flexible. What the student is doing in the classroom as well as outside the classroom, both can be brought into the credit system. And that is why it will improve our gross enrollment ratio. The present GER is of around 30%. NEP talks about to improve till 50% from down the year, but to improve that, this tech-enabled learning, which will support a lot. Inclusive access is another important feature of this particular policy. So equitable opportunities, I think talking about various kind of across the genders, across the regions, across the geography, from the background of socio-economic, here this policy gives more emphasis. So inclusiveness is one of the important aspects of this particular policy. Going ahead and talking about some of the reforms across the academic ecosystem, what kind of new things which are coming out. And as a leader, as an entrepreneur of this particular system, one has to see to that implementation of National Education Policy 2020 effectively. Effectively, I mean one has to adopt multidisciplinary curricula, one has to give more academic flexibility to the students, one has to see to that a localized research structure is to be adopted, one has to see that the regional as well as national issues are to be addressed. So to address all the issues at a national level, at a state level, at a regional level, at a local level, this policy support. That's why, according to the NAP 2020, multidisciplinary approach through the designing the new kind of curricula matters a lot. In which we are also giving emphasis to industry academia integration. So, an academic leader has to focus on this particular aspect. One has to get connected that academic institutions with industry also. So there should not be a gap between industry and academia. So if you have the gap, then one has to breach that gap. One has to minimize that gap. So unless and until industry and academia are not coming together, where the integration is not taking place, we will not get the purpose in which we are moving. That's why restructuring our programs to the extent of at least up to 30% or even more than that, so that our students will get opportunity to work into various kind of industries in the form of practicals, in the form of what we can call as on-job training, in the form of what we call as entrepreneurship or maybe apprenticeship. So these are the things which will be becoming supportive to the learners. Talking about research and innovation, because at a university level and even at a multi-institutional college level, the research, invention, innovation plays an important role. Empowering these institutions, empowering such colleges, empowering the leaders of these institutions is a right upmost priority. And solutions oriented research or robust kind of infrastructure, global academic collaborations is nothing but collaborations between the institutions, collaboration between academic and research institutions, collaboration between industry and the academic institutions is required to improve research and innovation. For the discovery, invention, research, application of that research is very important for the what we call as the Viksit Bharat. The student or the learner which we are enrolling and imparting the knowledge should not get only a discipline specific knowledge, but some kind of value based education is more important. And the leaders, through their governance system, through the value based governance system, should ensure that universities or institutions should lead to a merit rather than compliance. Integrating the Indian knowledge system, Bharatiya Jnan Pranali, and its ethics into the academic governance. That matters a lot. That's why NEP 2020 is having various verticals. In that 6 verticals, one of the vertical which also gives importance to Indian knowledge system. So including the IKS in the curricula, that is generic IKS as well as subject specific IKS matters a lot. Going ahead and talking about the turning points for the India as a Viksit Bharat 2047. What is required? Requirement is how the India can become topmost in the global scenario. Almost 200 plus countries are there. Of that ranking of India, India is ranking from the GDP point of view, from its turnover point of view, from its national income point of view, is of a fifth largest country in the world. And we are talking about how one can move from fifth to fourth to third to the first topmost country in the world. I'm talking about these 5 countries. USA is at number 1, China is at number 2, Germany is at number 3, Japan is at number 4, and India is at number 5. Talking about the income of USA at present, USA's GDP is around 28-29 trillion dollar. China is at 20 trillion dollar. Germany and Japan is around 4.5 trillion dollar, and our India is somewhere around 4.1 trillion dollar. So it means we are slowly and gradually crossing the Japanese economy and entering in and competing with the Germany's economy, and then we will compete with China and US. So the target which we have kept few years down the line from the Viksit Bharat point of view is $30 trillion economy we will have by 2047. So at present from $4.2 trillion to $30 trillion is the journey which India has to do in the remaining 20-21 years. And that is why academic role and academic institutions role and the university college role matters a lot. And that's why the human capital development, nothing but what we create, we are not creating a product. We are creating the development of the economy, or we are assisting the development of economy by building the manpower. And that manpower is a skilled manpower. So the human capital plays very important role. And that is what which will lead to invention, innovation, leadership, to build the nations what is required tomorrow. So the academic role of the college and university matters a lot. In the Amrit Kal, we have aligned with our institutional vision, and that is what the nation aspires. Accordingly, one has to work. That's why era of India's growth story is Viksit Bharat 2047. We will take some current landscapes through which we will see that what is the network of higher education institutions. Total number of universities presently across the country in India. In India, I'm talking about higher education institutions across India. How many universities are there by taking central universities, state universities, deemed universities, all that private universities into consideration? So 1,333 1,338 universities are working in India. 45,000 plus colleges which are functioning. They are the backbone of Indian higher education system. And presently, the enrollment ratio, what you call as the gross enrollment ratio, is of 30%. Now, please remember, if you talk about the developed countries like China, USA, Germany, Japan, their gross enrollment ratio is something around 70, 75, 80 plus. Ours is 30%. So slowly and gradually, we have to move from 30% to 40% to 50%, what is expected in National Education Policy 2020. So this is the current landscape of Indian higher education. This landscape shows that we are the topmost in the world about the institutional setup, like universities, number of colleges, but we are little laggard in the gross enrollment ratio, though we are largest or number one in the population, and that too having 65% plus our youth population. So this is what the dichotomy which we do have in higher education institution, and one has to address being an academic leader to make the institutions more excellent. If you make universities, colleges, research institutes, deemed universities, and the private universities or the aided colleges, autonomous colleges, strengthen it through the digital, physical infrastructure, through the recruiting more number of teachers, what will happen? The day will come where we'll have more excellence. Making more excellent, more quality, more value, skill-oriented institutions will definitely make a change in the India, what we aspire as Viksit Bharat. Talking about the research governance and the excellence, where research imperative, we are moving from good towards the great, and to move from one step of ladder of development to the higher step of ladder of development. What is required? A requirement is of incubations. So incubation centers are very, very important. Educational institutions should not only impart curricula to the stakeholder, rather we should impart some kind of discovery, some kind of creativity, some kind of innovative ideas, so that the stakeholder or our learner will get engaged into startup related activities. But to get engaged into startup related activity, incubation centers are more important. But each institution, including the universities and colleges, should start incubation centers, and they should incubate the student or the learner who has a strong ideas, and that ideas to be nurtured a lot. And that is why we need incubation centers and the patent parks, so that the ideas can be transformed into the intellectual property. And that's why we will have IPRs in the future. So those countries which are having more IPR, that invention, creativity matters a lot for that country. That's why we should also put our efforts to improve our IPR through the incubation centers by nurturing our learners. Collaborate. If any ideas need any support from industry, from NGOs, from any other research institutions, so either university or the college should get connect with all this. That's why the collaboration matters a lot. Collaboration between industry and academia matters a lot. That's why the partnership between industry and academia, which will strengthen our research culture. Globally, if you want to lead, what is more important is establish Indian universities as globally recognized centers of innovation and discovery. Gone those days, I'm talking about only the things are happening in Silicon Valleys. Now, the things are happening in country like India, our Indian knowledge system. If you see, we had much more, but now we can also create even further more too, and that is what we have a capacity to make our higher education system globally more efficient. That's why incubation, collaboration, and to establish our university as a globally recognized centers of innovation matters a lot from research imperative point of view. And from the governance and excellence point of view, what is required? A requirement is to give autonomy to the certain institutions. So autonomy plays a very important role. Beyond the bureaucratic concept, one has to give some sort of flexibility. So academic freedom, academic flexibility to the institutions, to the higher educational institutions. I'm not talking about university. University has, but the colleges where there is affiliation system, where the curriculum is defined, designed by the university, and colleges are implementing it. So colleges should be given autonomy to design their own curricula depending upon a regional need. That sort of autonomy, that sort of academic flexibility in the form of autonomy is very important. Once we give it, then that institutional leaders as well as the academic leaders has to use that autonomy in such a way that you should be more accountable for the stakeholders. So accountability matters for all the stakeholders, not only to the learner, but also to the society as such. But the public accountability plays very important role. So not only for the sake of autonomy to get it, but once we get the autonomy, then functioning or using that autonomy for the generation of knowledge as well as employability point of view and addressing the issues of the region and the state point of view, one has to use by making changes in the curricula. That sort of accountability is to be accepted by the academic leaders. And this will also lead to foster innovation culture. So the creativity plays a very important role from the education system point of view. We are not only producing the graduates or we are not only producing the degree holders, rather we should produce it, but through some kind of creativity. And that's why imbibing innovation, invention, discovery kind of culture matters a lot. And that's why governance towards excellence through the autonomy will play an important role for the Viksit Bharat. Some of the strategic executions are required for the academic leaders. From which point of view? There are 4 E's which I am proposing today. That 4 E's are: one is energy, other one is age, third one is energize, and fourth one is execute. Where energy is from the maintain high institutional momentum, especially during the period of significant changes. Any new issues, new problem, new policy, new ideas, new setup comes out, then that institutional leader should be of more energized. Nothing but he should come forward and see to that how the institutional momentum can be maintained, rather how the momentum can be improved. That becomes one of the E for the leader. Other one is from the age point of view, make tough data-driven decisions and have the courage to remedy failures swiftly. I mean, the leader should be that who should take certain decisions. That decision sometimes it is tough. You should go for that. The decision should be in a such a way that that will be result oriented based on certain data. Some kind of output is to be come out from that kind of decisions. So this sort of courage, this sort of initiative, who has to take? A leader has to take. Leader must be energized. It's nothing but he or she should inspire the faculty. He or she should inspire to our learner, that's what we call a student. By inspiring our faculty, inspiring our students, encouraging our faculty, encouraging our students to get more knowledge, to acquire more information matters a lot. And that kind of institutional vision that institutional leaders should have it. Education becomes the last E, that is constant delivery on various kind of promises. Transformation is measured in outcome oriented system and not intention. So there should not be only an intention to do this. Rather, whatever the intention the leader is showing should get reflected into output. That's why output should be measured in some sort of KPIs. Nothing but there should be some key performing indicators that higher educational institutions are having, and on the basis of that KPIs, the performance is getting measured. That's why education also plays very important role. So in general, energy, age, energize, and execute is the strategy that leader has to adopt. That's why these 4 E's are playing an important role. Going ahead and talking about role of education in Viksit Bharat at 2047, and particularly we're talking from academic leader and excellence point of view, and how one can achieve India at the 100th year as a Viksit Bharat. From that point of view, transformational reforms in the form of universal access of the teacher empowerment. I mean, this kind of refresher course which is going on is the capacity building program. This capacity building program is one of the aspects for the teacher empowerment. We are enriching in the form of knowledge, enriching in the form of administrative setup to the teacher through this kind of faculty development program. So this becomes one of the example for the teacher empowerment. Universal access anywhere, anytime, this kind of access is to be required, and NEP 2020 is promoting that. I mean, synchronized mode of learning and non-synchronized mode of learning, anywhere, anytime, that is applicable for online education. So online education is also getting promoted for those who have difficulty of access of education system. That's why universal access is to be promoted. Shadow education, which will be leading to holistic learning as well as educational inequality. NEP 2020, I'm talking about, it is an academic knowledge, and that's what which is promoting more of skills, and not only the skill enhancement courses or vocational kind of skill, but rather life skills are also getting promoted through the national education policy. Economic productivity, higher educational institutions, learner from that will get absorbed into industry or into entrepreneur activity, or that will go in the form of human power or the skill power. So more the skill, better will be the efficiency. More the creativity, better will be the entrepreneurial activity. From this particular aspect, economic productivity which will uplift. Technological innovation in the form of research and development that plays an important role, and cultural preservation, our traditions, our values. National education policy is also having a vertical related to this kind of cultural preservation in the form of tradition. I mean, Indian knowledge system. IKS is one of the part of our traditional knowledge, and values is nothing but what we call as a democratic values or institutional values, or what you can call here is as cultural values, which are also getting created to value education courses. BEC is some kind of courses which are promoted in the higher education institution through the NEP 2020. Civic responsibility also matters a lot. It means critical thinking, tolerance is what that civic responsibility we are also imbibing on the learner. So in general, education's role in Viksit Bharat is to promote transformational reform, shadow education, civic responsibility, cultural preservation, technological innovation, improve economic productivity. In that context, if you emphasize, definitely the purpose in which we are looking to higher education system will definitely result into Viksit Bharat 2047. Going ahead and talking about the institutional excellence, a call to institutional excellence in the Viksit Bharat 2047. What vision is required? Every decision if you make It should create a legacy of next century. So what we are contributing today must be useful for tomorrow and day after tomorrow. What we are developing this year must be useful to the next and the next decades too. So the academic leaders are always architects of India's development of future. For India's future, that to Viksit Bharat's future, which will be on the shoulder of that architect who are leading the higher educational institution. And that's why role of academic leaders plays very important role for the excellence point of view or development point of view. And from that aspect, universal quality, global innovations, and equity, this point plays important role. Why universal quality? Because excellence must reach every institution, not just the elite few. It means not in the hands of few people, only the excellence or quality should go. It should be through the mass education, we should provide quality, or the entire population as such should get a qualitative education, and that is what very important. Equity, access, and opportunity is very important. Whichever may be the policy, whichever may be the courses, whatever may be the program, but for various kind of institutions, various kind of programs adopted by the institutions, where the community should have access as well as the opportunity. Global innovations from Indian universities must lead their knowledge, their patent, their IPRs, their creativity, so that we should become number one, or we should become a global hub for the knowledge economy point of view. So knowledge economy is like important role in the 21st century. And to make knowledge economy hub, our Indian university should play important role. Moving ahead and talking about the empowering human capital for a global economy, what is required to make India better in the globe or better in the world, including our academic excellence as well as the leadership. For that, human capital, strengthening the human capital plays important role. It becomes a duty and responsibility of academic leader to strengthen, to improve, to empower our human capital. So from this particular aspect, how do we empower this? First of all, a leader should identify, leaders should see to it that leaders should make some kind of exercise in the context of employability gap. He or she should find out what kind of employability gap is there, what is we are creating through the curriculum, and what is required for the market. Between this, is there any gap? That gap, is it employability gap? So that is to be, first of all, find out by the academic leader. Another point is youth demographic. I'm talking about a demographic dividend point of view. We know that India is largestly populated country in the world, almost 144 crore population, of which 65% population is coming under the age group of 35. Average age is between 32 to 35 years, and that size is 65%. So this 65% population is our working population, and that is what having more time to give for the productive work of the economy, because that is below the 35 years, isn't it? Life expectancy on an average is around 85, 86 years. So if you take 85 and our demographic dividend age bracket 35, between 85 to 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 81, 50 years are in the hands of our youth for developing our country. And that's what one has to focus more on this youth. Global curriculum, we have to see to that. Leader has to find out, leader has to visit to various academic institutions globally which are having an excellent performance. For example, Oxford, Cambridge, etc. See what is happening in that universities, that institutions, and try to get incorporate in our own Indian curricula so that our learner will understand that. Other universities are measuring their contribution in GDP of the countries. For example, Oxford, Cambridge, they measure their university contribution in the gross domestic product of that countries. So can we measure our contribution, our university contribution in the national or in the GDP of India? So to that extent, one has to prepare. So the academic leader must be a dynamic, he or she must be a thought-provoking, he or she must be that can adopt many kind of challenges, things into the curricula, into the institution, into HEI, higher education institution, so that a learner will get benefit or advantage for that. And from this aspect point of view, I'm talking about what is to be focused by the leaders of academics today through the higher education institution. The mantra is to focus more on youth. Why do we want to focus more on youth through the HEI by the leaders? The point here is each country will go from the various kind of stages, and the specific stage what I call here as a stage of demographic dividend. I'm giving the examples of certain countries like Japan, Italy, Korea, Spain, China, Thailand, Brazil, even Bangladesh also, our neighboring country. All these countries have moved from the various stages or the various phases. Development of either Korea or the development of China or the development of Japan has taken place in that era in which the population and that to youth population was more. So where in a particular period of that country, youth population was higher or youth were more, proportion of population of youth were more, only in that particular period, the development of that country has taken place. The best example is of China. China's is of a second largest country in the form of gross domestic product. $20 trillion is the economy of that country every year. USA almost $28 trillion plus every year. Talking about Japan, Japan has adopted this particular concept and focused more on the youth. During 1964 till 2004, Japan has fetched the demographic dividend. Italy from 1984 to 2002, Korea from 1987 till 2027. Next year, Korea is facing the demographic division. Spain from 1991 till 2014. China 1994 till 2031. I want to emphasize here. Now, from India's point of view, we have started to get a demographic dividend from 2018 onwards, and it will go till 2055. So right now 25-26 and 55-56, that remaining 25-30 years are in the hands of higher educational institutions leaders, so that 30 to 25 years we are creating, we are providing curricula to the youth so that this youth will nurture the economy in years to come. So this is what important period for the higher education institutions to revise the curricula, make the skill-oriented education system, make vocational education-oriented education system, focus more on incubations, discovery, inventions, give more priority to employability, give more priority to the startup, give more priority to build up entrepreneurial activities so that more and more income will be generated within the economy. And that is what we aspire a Viksit Bharat 2047, that our dream will come true. And that is why demographic dividend plays very important role. talking about the role of higher education leaders is that the educational policy, what we have introduced now, that implementation of this new policy, national education policy in an effective manner. For that, what is required? A structural changes in higher educational setup is required if you make according to the changes which has taken place in NEP 2020. As an academic leader, what is required? Requirement is framing the curricula. Requirement is changing the teaching pedagogy. Requirement is making the changes in evaluation model, evaluation system, formative evaluation, or the project-based evaluation, etc. And giving more emphasis to the research. So, academic and structural reforms are required in higher education institutions. And who will make these? Academic leaders will make this. So, the role and the responsibility of academic leader in making the structural and academic changes plays very important role. Coming to the higher educational systems scenario, we know that there are university, research institution, college setup, etc. That is the setup of our higher education institution. There are state universities and having affiliation system of the various colleges to that, in which there are non-agricultural, agricultural, medical, technological, legal, all these institutions are getting affiliated to the state universities. There are the central universities, they are unitary universities. Central universities are standalone, they are unitary universities. Private universities are also the unitary universities. There are central institutions like IITs, IIMs, NITs, IITs, IISCs, etc. There are also deemed to be universities, and there are also cluster universities as per the new policy. Taking the consolidation of all these figures, I mean, as I mentioned, around 1,300 plus universities, 45,000 plus colleges, etc. We come across that the vibrant and multidisciplinary universities are required. And that's why to become multidisciplinary institutions, requirement is restructuring of higher education sector is very much essential. How we can restructure these higher educational institutions? We can restructure this through the various kinds of changes in the institution. Hello? Hello? 15 more minutes. Yeah. Changes in the educational institutions in the various departments, and through which we can start accreditation and assessment of the institutions. And through this accreditation and assessment process, in which we can have A grade, we can have autonomous colleges, those who are getting A grade, that convert affiliated colleges into the autonomous colleges. And autonomous colleges into empowered autonomous institutions is a need of higher education system. And to do that, what is required? Requirement is we can achieve above. If not, then what is to be done? That academic leaders has to come together by merging certain colleges. How the merging, amalgamation and merger of the banking has taken place in the banking sector, like that in educational institutions, this kind of merger and amalgamation process is to be initiated by the academic leader. But the merger is the one of the way. Academic collaboration and association through the different institution is another way. I mean, a BA college can get collaborated with BEd college, or MBA college can get collaborated with any other professional college. So academic collaborations and clustering of that is very important. A single faculty institute can get collaboration with multi-faculty institutions. For example, a management institution can collaborate with art, science, commerce college. So these are the changes which are required for the higher educational institutions in years to come. Why? Why? The reason is we are talking about the Viksit Bharat 2047. Programs which we are making should be a student centric. There should be more flexibility. The programs which we are creating for the learner is in the form of various kind of courses. There must be flexibility to the students. Flexibility may be in the form of multiple entry and multiple exit. Students can enter as well as students can go out depending upon the necessity. Flexibility for the learners is required to move from one institution to another institutions. Some of the courses one can make from one institutions. Few more courses credit one can earn from some other institutions. That's why a collaboration between the leaders and the higher education institutions is required. For the leader who makes these changes, leader who go for these kind of changes, a leader who go for structural and academic kind of changes will become a successful leader. No doubt, changes in the teaching learning process, changes in the curriculum. Curriculum must be skill based. Curriculum must be innovative. We should have to have a curriculum related to on-job training, related to research project, related to community engagement programs, including even value-based education. We should promote more intensive, and if that is what outside the classroom, a learner will learn many things. Not only that, setting up of incubation centers for creating more and more startup is also need of the hours. But the academic leader should promote all these kind of activity which I am just here mentioning right now. Talking about the various kind of programs, a good leader should propose a single major program, a double major program, or interdisciplinary programs, or the multidisciplinary programs. The present system, which talks more about major and minor, at least 50% credit a learner has to get from a major subject and the remaining from minor and other disciplines. That is what these kind of changes are to be brought to the notice of the learners and accordingly to be promoted more. Going ahead and talking about few more concepts, and the concepts are associated with digital transformation and integration of AI. Smart campus infrastructure. A leader will become a successful. That leader, I'm talking about academic leader, who make a campus and that to smart campus will be a successful leader. How one can make it? One can prepare virtual labs. One can prepare AI-driven learning platforms. One can prepare a cloud-based academic management system, what we call a learning management system, LMS, a cloud-based academic learning management system. One can go for a future-ready skills 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, or medium term, long term, what kind of skill is required. That skill is to be given today to the youth in the form of, for example, certain mandatory courses like data analytics, cyber security, quantum computing, across all the disciplines, not specifically only for the engineering students, but for the humanities, commerce management. These are the basic courses in the form of skill must be given to the students. Mode of learning should not be only a physical or should not be only online. There should be hybrid learning models is to be proposed by the academic leader. So academic leader has to give a 360-degree approach for the development of the institutions. Financial autonomy and resource mobilization. Financial autonomy becomes very challenging, but the resource mobilization plays a very important role. Why? From the various kind of projects, maybe minor project, major project, consultancy related project, research related project, or one can get some kind of NGO related consultancies, consultants to the governments, consultancy given to the industries. Through that, one can get the revenue, and that will mobilize the institutional resources also. So in that way, the leader has to promote faculty for the resource mobilization. Globalization of higher education is also important. One can get connect with the foreign institutions or the universities in the form of twinning program, or in the form of joint degree programs, or in the form of dual degree programs, or connecting the domestic campus with international campuses plays important role. The important thing is we are having a target of sustainable development goals. I mean, 17 sustainable development goals is target for all the countries. And for the educational institutions, how we are creating or supporting to the sustainability through the green campus or community-led research or sustainable development goal alignments. Incubations and entrepreneurship ecosystem plays important role. Data-driven and quality assurance related, we know that accreditation of the institutions by the NAC or QS ranking or Times Higher Education ranking, or it may be NIRF National Institutional Framework related ranking. All this kind of ranking, one has to get involved and see to that how one can assure more quality to the learners. Faculty empowerment, promoting faculty across the states, across the countries, across the disciplines plays very important role. Excellence and the well-being of the students and students' mental health infrastructure. Students should be given some kind of scholarships, some kind of supports, physical as well as digital support is also required. Knowledge and structural flexibility is also required from the academic leader point of view. What kind of this? For example, you talk about dissolving the rigid department roles, department, there will be cross disciplines, there should be collaborative things. Some things can be taken from the engineering toward the management, or from management to the humanity. So these are the cross issues to be addressed, and that is why the role of the academic leaders plays very important role. Skill mapping. Every district level, there is a skill gap report which is published by the government. At each district, the skill gap report is available. One has to take that particular report, in which region, which district, what kind of skill is required. And accordingly, through the regional language, according to the regional higher education institutions, can we bridge that skill gap? And accordingly, a curriculum need to be modified. Autonomy is required, decentralization, administration paper process is also required. Department at a micro budget level is to be given autonomy, not only at an institution, even at a departmental level, some kind of freedom to the head of the department in the form of purchase or the what you can call as maybe the research related approval. That kind of freedom is to be given. Governance from the paperless point of view is required. Administrative support in the form of supporting staff, maybe logistic support, maybe academic scholars, who we call as research scholar support, is to be given. Education is not only for the youth, but even beyond that, one has to see to it that it is for lifelong learning, and one has to connect our alumni towards the integration, why the current learner should get connected with our past learners, and the past learners are our alumni. That's why from the mentorship point of view, or from advisory board point of view, or from alumni meet point of view, one can get connect with the hello. Hello. Hello.
Sir, you are audible.
Yeah, audible, yeah. I think the last two slides I'm talking about from the academic leader and excellence point of view for the Dixit Bharat 2047. This slide which talks about how one can move from one step to another step. Academic and structural transformation is required through the curriculum, through the online teaching, through the autonomy. Student-centric initiatives and the faculty development programs will play a very important role. A leader has to plan this accordingly, through which one can have the programs related to community engagement, maybe even books from the credit transfer or the internships or through the scholarships. Research, innovation, and consultancy, which will be also very important. Infrastructure and employability initiatives are also required. And ultimately, what is the result? The result is social outreach and ranking. Those institutions which are imparting this education, their NAC ranking or NRF ranking or maybe ARIA kind of ranking, QS ranking, faculties in the various kind of index, maybe H index or maybe Stanford index should get recognized more. Not only this, the last point which I am just covering is this particular sector will have certain challenges. What sort of challenges is there? The challenges are gross enrollment ratio in our institutions is around 30%. That is what one has to improve till 40%. But once we go for the higher educational institutions autonomy point of view, to whom we can give the autonomous colleges, how much strength is required in each colleges. Greater than 3,000 students are required, and we find that 96% colleges are the autonomous colleges which are having student strength less than 3,000. That is one of the very important challenge. How many institutions are autonomous in India till date? 747 institutions are autonomous. That figure is also less. 11% of our students are going abroad for the higher education. That one has to see to that how one can minimize this. Student-teacher ratio, that is to be maintained. Presently, it is little higher. One has to see to that 1:20 ratio is to be maintained. That is also one of the challenge. And transforming this higher education from what to think to how to think is very important aspect of this. So with these few words, I come to the conclusion that given me the opportunity for the academic leadership and academic excellence for the Dixit Bharat 2047, which was very important aspect, very important topic. And accordingly, some questions if you have, definitely I'll be very happy to answer these questions. Over to you. Yes, I have done. Any question?
Roll number 61.
Yeah, if anybody has having any questions, I am very happy to answer this.
Molsa, shall I do vote of thanks?
वोट ऑफ थैंक्स का रिस्पॉन्स 61 रोल नंबर 61 प्लीज म्यूट। वोट ऑफ थैंक्स कौन करने वाला है सर का?
हेलो,
यस सर, वोट ऑफ थैंक्स।
हाँ सर, आपने इतने विस्तार से हायर एजुकेशन सिस्टम का विकसित भारत के लिए जो योगदान हो सकता है उस पर प्रकाश डाला। आपने गहनता से विभिन्न बिंदुओं पर चर्चा की। आपके इस अनुभव से हम सब प्रतिभागी लाभान्वित हैं और आपका बहुत बहुत आभार, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आपने इतना इम्प्रेसिव लेक्चर हम सबको प्रदान किया। डॉक्टर माधव देशमुख जी, हम आपसे इस प्रयास का हमेशा ध्यान रखेंगे सर। आपने जो हमारे लिए इतना प्रयास किया है, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
धन्यवाद सर, धन्यवाद। आपण सुरुवातच प्रश्नांच्या माध्यमातून केली ते खूप इफेक्टिव्ह वाटलं सर आम्हाला।
Thank you very much. Thank you.
ओके सर,
थँक्यू सो मच सर.
थँक्यू सर.
Let it go up. I mean, Wait a second, wait. Watch out. That's the first control. That is the control. And stop.
आलो तर घेतलं नाही आलो तर वाट पाहत लावलो मग त्याच्यामुळे जागा खाली नाही ठेवायची आपल्याला. 4 दिवस येत नाही. कॉन्टॅक्ट असेल तर फोन लावा त्याला. हे 2 सुद्धा वाढायचे आपल्याला ते वाढायची वेळ नाही बळेगावमध्ये. ते काही फीचं लक्ष नाही आणखी कॅन्सल होत व्हायच्या माझ्या. का बरं काय केस काही वाढूच्या
ते माणसं नाही, माणसं हे घेतलेच
आता सेकंड इयरला मी जगदीप दिवेस पॉलिटिकल सायन्स हिस्ट्री इकॉनॉमिक्स यांच्या उपयोगाला हिस्ट्रीला एक पण नाही, पॉलिटिकल सायन्स एक. काय
आहे ना मानसाचं आई घरी दूध द्या पर्यंत आधार गरज काय सर तिथे खाली